The lure of van life. It's so interesting how people would choose to live in a vehicle so that they can have a lifestyle where they travel more and just have more freedom and more of an adventure. Take off with your dog on a journey. It's so fascinating. And there's many, many people out there who choose to live in a van and do this. They do it for an adventure. Some people do it for an even bigger adventure. But at the same time, there are a lot of people out there who live in a vehicle because they have to. It's not really by choice. And there are more and more of those people every day. And actually, I find that more fascinating than living in a van or a vehicle for an adventure. I find it absolutely fascinating how people get by and the many different ways that they do that. And then, of course, we also have many homeless people who don't have a vehicle at all to live in. And then there are others who housing is not really their main problem. But for all the people out there who are seeking a handout, having a hard time picking themselves up, there are those who have chosen to make their own situations better. And in this video, I've interviewed two homeless men who have made their own mobile rigs because necessity is the mother of invention. Hey there. So everyone, I met this gentleman here. What's your name?
Chancey Soul.
Hi, Chancey. I came up to you, Chancey, because your vehicle is absolutely amazing. And I love that people come up with their own alternative ways of solving problems, especially housing and mobility. And as a van lifer, I was just really curious about your rig here and sort of like how it's put together. If you want to throw in anything else about why you did it or
Sure.
any other points, feel free to. Just show us we appreciate it.
At times we realize that real estate is more a responsibility than anything else, and we could drop and shed all those weighty things and hit the ground pretty hard. I hit the ground, fortunately, with an old bike trailer and got some line and some tarp and found some redwood shed limbs that still had a bit of bend to them. When a fellow saw me utilizing my pocket knife, he offered a small saw. That made me take the thing apart a couple of times until I perfected the shape. I relied upon a little bit of intuition. These limbs are such high pressure, they might fly apart if a car hits it. It might be inevitable. The point is that you have your bed, a bunk, a hammock, and you have your shelter. It's more of a rigid tent on wheels than anything else. It could be built 10 times lighter and 10 times stronger with some polycarbonate. If I had a workshop, you'd have this thing on wheels powered by a little electric bike. A couple $1,000s and you've got a micro motorhome that can be charged on the go with a little Honda generator. You're going to get over 150 miles to the gallon, and you're the most free person in the world because you could paint the thing any color, throw some pine needles on it, and you've got a camouflage hedge in a minute that could park anywhere. Stop paying people money for the sake of fear, please. Stop relying so much on it and read the damn bill. It says in something we trust. It's the country's motto. At any rate, slow yourselves down. My unapologetic, unsolicited opinion is everyone needs to calm way down, because there is always a bigger fish, always smarter people. And those that do watch over us, we must learn to realize that though they appear so very wrong, they must be right. Let us be right also. Right on.
I really appreciate you saying that. Can you tell us a little more about this rig, how it's built?
Certainly. There's limbs lashed to a bike trailer with tarp stapled down and a little bit of duct tape and a little bit of duct tape.
Looks like you've got 2 layers storage down here. And
Right.
then a bed up here. I mean, it's absolutely awesome the way it's shaped for the length of a human body. You almost have more room up here than I have in my van. You could almost stand up better, is what I'm saying.
I like the bulky look.
That is so beautiful. It's like sleeping under a spider web.
I mingle with them.
So that is really, really amazing. So you've got rope and tape, and then the door shuts here too, right?
Oh, yeah, we could show off.
Yeah, show me and it's mobile, right? It's not just sitting there.
Correct.
Obviously.
I won't need to explain that. They could pause the video and study it all they like.
Here, let's get a look at the back. Look at the shape of that, yo. So he can lift it up like that and move it pretty easily. So it's pretty light, huh?
Oh, it could be 10 times lighter with structural aluminum or anything else that you got. I picked these up on the side of the road to make a leveler. I've got a couple of them now. A little bit of galvanized wire and some fiberglass rod and a few odds and ends, and I can make a crafty.
So you started with some kind of cart, and then you just built more of a frame around it with the redwood?
Anyone with wheels at all, sure. Anyone with wheels at all could strap a ladder to them and start with a better frame than I have. And anything that you have that's lightweight and strong, put it on wheels, put a tarp over it, and you're 10 times better than the people living on the street with nothing. They start to have a sense of self-respect when they have a place where they can store their stuff. They're not so afraid. I park this thing and strap it to a light post, and the first question from the first shelterless person is, do you want me to watch your stuff? I said, you can do whatever you want with my stuff. I'm not interested. And I walked away and I spent my last $5 on a medium grade cup of coffee.
Here you go. There's $5 right there.
I'll pay you
All right.
back in a minute.
Yeah, when the video's done, I already planned it. He's going to give it
Serial
back
number.
to me. So what's this? How did that come about?
Well, parts and pieces. A person handed me a walker. I broke it into pieces and added a wheel on the back. It had wheels. And I have another wheel that I half wore out when I was doing things wrong. As you can see, it's worn down. At any rate, we learn.
Cool. How long have you had this set up like this?
I hit the ground a month ago, and it was during rainstorms, Northern California, heavy winds.
All right, Chance, one more thing. Let me ask you about this. I just think it's so brilliant that you've taken this situation into your own hands and made something completely unique as well. It's not like there's a pattern for this out there. Now, I wanted to ask you, do you think more people that are out here without a house, without coverage, can come up with ideas like this for themselves, different ways of solving the issue, maybe rather than, I don't mean to sound mean, but rather than waiting for someone else to, like it's dire out here for a lot of people, and a lot of people could use solutions. Are people coming up with their own solutions and like this? And if not, why not? Anything you want to say about that's fine.
It would not be a short answer. If I abridged an abridgment, it would simply be that high technology is very important. Low technology, believe it or not, is suppressed through a bunch of,
Regulations alone
suppress
suppress it.
With it because it goes into philosophy.
Why aren't people doing this,
Why
Chance?
aren't people doing this? Because the price of a large wheeled gurney and a hard-shelled tent, or a gallon of epoxy, a few sheets, and a radio flyer is beyond their senses. I don't know.
How did you
beyond
come
their
up?
senses. It's because I was born and raised in a freezing rainforest without dollars, and I had to do everything for myself.
Okay.
I forced myself to learn hydraulics, welding. I got taught electronics in depth. It was pretty cool. Partially colorblind, and I shocked it.
So you're more skilled maybe than most. Is there anything about you internally that drives your desire to do this, whereas others aren't doing it?
Certainly. I'm a philosopher, and as we all are to some degree, in my life quest, this philosophy is many-fold, many goals, and it's changed. It's been a continuum. It's altered over time. But mostly it is to save the world, do the best I can. And this is nothing. This is wheels with a tarp over it. I can engineer things. I built a James Bond boat in my head. If somebody would only hand me 30 grand, I could build something quite impressive, probably worth $1 million. With 40 grand, I could take the presidency. With about 60 grand, I could get British nobility title. I know this about myself, but I'm gloating about truths inside. We're all philosophers. Why don't people do this? Why isn't this prevalent? Because most people, I think, are scared to death of death, and they want their comforts, they want their bath and their security and their fence and their car, and they want to jump in their car and go to the grocery store and pick up their special brand of milk or whatever and go back home and cook up some special thing. It's fine. That's a great life. It's grand. They make 100, 200 grand a year, and their partner that's not very discreet about cheating on them is making twice that. Okay? And they got dollars and they got problems too. But I choose the other way. This $5 is going to coffee. I've got cheese, I've got bread, I've got an apple. I'm getting a freaking latte. I don't get a latte every day. Today's one of those days that I may. Why don't people have this? Big wheel gurney, I think, would be a good way to go. Start with that. Put a tent over it. Figure something out better than me. I'm not that smart.
Well, what I admire about you is you did come up with this, and it is serving you.
Because I lived in a freezing rainforest for so long.
Right.
Cove in Cordova.
You're right.
You know,
well, it's good, and I think a lot of people have a lot more capability for themselves than they're feeling they have now. I think, there's a victim mentality going on that's not encouraging people, and I know it's difficult. I live in a van. It's difficult. Maybe not as difficult as someone who doesn't have any coverage, but I just really believe in people's ability, and this is proof right here. Thank you, Chance, for the interview.
I was long-winded.
No, you are a beautiful, enlightened being. He wants to talk about it more.
This is the main thing. How many entities out there are promising shelter for all these people, and they shuffle them out because they demand so much from them, and they can't keep up, so they trash the place by flushing things down the toilet and so on and so forth. Billions of dollars are wasted on stupid things. Give people tarp, some sticks, some twine, and some wheels, and they have at least this by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Solve this. By the way, Biden, President, Mr. President, accepted this. Make wheels, use polycarbonate, use some frickin' science, not too much. Use neodymium magnets against some copper. Give these people a heating kettle. When they wheel this thing around, it's practically free energy. It runs on calories. You already give them EBT, but you don't give them a place to cook.
Calories.
There's no way to use a microwave with your EBT. Ooh, you know what? Now you got me started.
Okay.
Get them going.
All right. That is a good advertisement for getting it going. Not to get you upset. Thanks again. I appreciate you. Thanks for showing us your rig. And other people can know, what it's like. Anyway.
Mr. President, bye, Joe.
Bye.
You gonna put on only in Humboldt?
I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah? Okay.
Is that okay? Bambi, hold on a second. So this is your rig?
Yeah.
How long have you had it?
I've had this only a couple months, about 2 months.
Cool.
I had it for my sailboards. I had sailboards on top of it, but they got stolen.
Sailboards?
Yeah. I had 2 sailboards given to me, and so I made this cart to put them on top and live underneath.
Sailboards. No, don't go over there. Bambi, leave the dog alone. Yeah, I just really like when people come up with solutions for themselves. Do you mind? I hate to put a phone in your face.
That's fine.
When people come up with solutions for themselves, and be innovative, because that's what humans are, right?
Yeah. We evolved with what we have to get thrown at us.
Yeah, because a lot of people grow up weak.
A product of what I needed to do.
Right. Necessity is the mother of invention. Looks like there's some really sturdy pieces of wood there. So is it a wood frame on top of like a cart?
Hollow. It's quite hollow.
It's so cool. Thank you. Yeah.
But really, I made it because my sailboards were on top of it, and I have my sails all right here. But someone robbed me yesterday and the day before.
Oh, by the way, sorry.
Yeah,
It sucks.
I based my whole life around it, and now
Right.
I have no sailboards.
Do you, does that happen while you're sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
One time, broad daylight yesterday, I was sleeping right next to it, and they came and took it. The same people came
Is
back
it
to the
other
same.
people that are out here? Or is it
No,
like
these
people
were
pull
house-
up in a truck and
these were
take it?
House people came up
Okay.
in a truck. We had sailboard racks on their. They came and took it.
And they took yours.
Yeah, they wanted it for themselves. Thought I didn't deserve
That's
it
pretty
or
low.
something.
Yeah, I think that's awful. Like you said before, if
I
you
already have
don't
nothing.
if you don't know what it's like, you know, people have bad morals.
I know.
It's getting worse.
I got to tell them off.
It's a
and then-
jungle. Yeah,
I
I'm
do.
sorry to hear that.
I'll start over. I've done it before.
How is this 2 wheelchairs just
This is
finagled?
Actually, it's usually just my wheelchair, the bottom one. It used to be this one. But I'm giving these 2 carts to my friend, so I'm just holding on to these 2 carts. It's really just the bottom part's mine and the back part.
Okay. Oh, I see you're transporting these right now. I get it.
That's my load, yeah.
And that's like that.
This is a
Oh, I see. It's another
this is a
part.
sailboard boon, actually. It
A
works
sailboard boon.
It's a great trailer because you don't have to.
Oh, it's like a travoy.
Yeah.
Like on the
just
back
pop
of a
it across.
horse, the Indian people
Yeah, yeah.
would put the 2 teepee poles on the back and then a piece of skin. Uh-huh. It's exactly a travoy. But you didn't do it thinking that. You just sort of thought of this
Yeah.
will work, right?
Yeah, it'll work.
That's awesome. All right, man. Thanks so much. Hey,
Have a good day.
good luck. I wish I could
I'll probably never see you on the
bring you
channel.
the
I'll
sailboards.
probably never watch your channel, but that's all right.
It's called Uncivilized. Yeah, so check it out.
I have a good lawyer. I'm suing the city over a lot of things that are
Oh,
uncivilized.
God.
That are very uncivilized.
Oh, yeah, right. All right.
Have a good day.
You too.